You might not believe it at first, but there's a 95-year-old man who still walks every single day, without pain, without a cane, and with a peaceful smile on his face. While most seniors his age struggle just to get out of a chair, he strolls through his neighborhood, climbs stairs, and still tends to his own garden. And here's the kicker. He doesn't have an expensive health plan. He doesn't rely on heavy medications, and he's never had major surgery. His secret? 7 simple, affordable vitamins, nearly forgotten by modern medicine, that completely transformed how he ages. Now let me ask you something that might sting a little. Why do so many people over 70 accept pain, fatigue, and limitation as if that's just how it is? Who told you that your body has to give up after a certain age? That's a lie. One of the biggest lies told to seniors is that suffering is normal. But today, you're going to see why that's not only false, it's something you can change faster than you think. Science has proven that the human body, even in old age, responds with gratitude to the right kind of attention. But no one talks about that on TV, in commercials, or in magazines. You know why? Because independence doesn't sell. Chronic pain does. Sleeping pills do. Inflammatory creams do. But what this 95-year-old man did was different. He flipped the script. He figured out exactly what the body needs after 70 and built his morning routine around it. And no, this isn't about magic tricks or trendy diets. We're talking about essential nutrients your body is probably craving right now, and you don't even realize it. Vitamins that fight inflammation, strengthen bones, boost energy, and help you walk without that dragging, heavy feeling in your legs. And the best part? They're right within your reach if you know how to use them. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those 7 vitamins are, how he used them, and what he avoided at all costs. And when you hear what he did, you'll finally understand why. Even at 95, he still walks like he's 60. Who knows, this might just be the beginning of a new chapter for you too. When people see him walking upright, smiling, moving with purpose, they're always surprised to hear he's 95. But what shocks them even more? He walks without pain. None. Not in his knees, not in his back, not even in his feet. His name is Mr. Anselmo, and he lives in a quiet town in the Brazilian countryside. Doctors were stunned. His family thought he was just lucky. But what he did to maintain this freedom is something anyone can learn. And it starts with how he views aging, not as a burden, but as a responsibility. He starts his day with a light walk around the block, rain or shine. If it rains, he grabs an umbrella. If it's cold, he layers up. No excuses. And when asked if he ever feels pain in his joints, he chuckles and says, "That stayed back in my 70s." He's not superhuman. He's consistent. What makes his story so powerful is that it isn't built on privilege or miracle treatments. It's built on simple, wise decisions repeated daily. He understood that aging doesn't mean stopping. It means adjusting. At 60, he gave up refined sugar, limited processed foods, and started reading labels, not out of fear, but out of respect for his body. He made his health a personal project. While others teased him for being too careful, now they ask for his advice. His grandson even jokes, "Grandpa's stronger than me." And honestly, he might be right. Anselmo doesn't believe in magic pills. He believes in knowledge. He began tracking his health, learning about inflammation, bone loss, and mobility. And more importantly, he realized that movement alone wouldn't be enough. He needed to nourish the body from the inside out. That's when he discovered the role of specific vitamins and how they could change everything. His story made headlines after a local news channel featured him walking with ease while others his age used walkers. Doctors ran tests. His bone density was excellent. Inflammation? Minimal. Joints? Well preserved. Energy levels? Like someone decades younger. And the more they asked, the more he repeated, "There's no secret. It's just routine." But nobody talks about it. There's one mistake nearly every senior makes, and it might seem harmless, but it costs more than anyone realizes. They stop moving. They sit more. Avoid stairs. Don't stretch. And they're told it's for their safety. But the body doesn't understand safe. It responds to use or lack of it. Mr. Anselmo saw this early on. When others slowed down, he kept moving, gently, but deliberately. That one habit changed the trajectory of his entire aging process. He used to say, "If you stop, you rust." And he wasn't wrong. Even a few days of inactivity can cause muscles to weaken and joints to stiffen. It's like putting a car in storage and expecting it to run smoothly years later. The difference? You can't trade your body in. So he walked, even on cold mornings. When stuck indoors, he'd march in place or lift water bottles for arm exercises. No gym, just daily commitment. He didn't let pain become an excuse. He listened to his body, adjusted when needed, but never surrendered. And the results speak for themselves. Steady weight, better sleep, sharper mind. Many in their 70s look like they're 90, not because of age, but because of neglect. Movement is medicine, and it's free. He also understood that the mind needed movement too. He read the newspaper, solved crossword puzzles, and even learned to use a smartphone. If your mind stops, your body follows, he'd say. And again, he was right. Research shows that physical activity combined with mental stimulation drastically lowers the risk of dementia. But movement alone isn't enough. The body also needs fuel, and this is where vitamins come in. He knew that bones, joints, and muscles required different kinds of support, so he made sure not to miss the one vitamin that holds it all together. One of the biggest fears in old age? Falling. Not just the pain, but what comes after: surgeries, hospital stays, lost independence. And often, the culprit is something as invisible as a vitamin deficiency. Mr. Anselmo learned this when a blood test revealed low levels of vitamin D. That's when he made it part of his daily defense and never looked back. Vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium, which keeps bones dense and strong. Without it, bones become fragile, like dry branches that snap under pressure. The tricky part? After age 70, the body becomes less efficient at producing vitamin D from sunlight. So just stepping outside isn't enough. Mr. Anselmo took supplements, paired with short, intentional sun exposure each morning. A 15-minute walk with sleeves rolled up. No sunburns, just smart habits. He also added foods rich in calcium and magnesium, like steamed broccoli, leafy greens, and a bit of fresh cheese. And he didn't overdo it, just enough to support his bones without overwhelming his system. The result? Balance. Literally. He didn't wobble. He didn't fall. His bones were quietly doing their job, thanks to his daily consistency. But here's what most people miss. Vitamin D needs partners. Without vitamin K2, for example, calcium can end up in arteries instead of bones. Mr. Anselmo learned this the hard way, so he started combining his supplements wisely. He wasn't just taking vitamins, he was using them. His doctors were amazed. No osteoporosis, no fractures, just a firm, steady man enjoying his walk. And you could see it in how he carried himself. Proud, safe, free. That's what real wellness looks like in the later years of life. Still, bones are only part of the story. Joints also play a crucial role, and they need something else entirely to stay smooth and pain-free. Your joints are like hinges. They need lubrication, mobility, and support. When one of those fails, pain sets in. And in old age, that shows up as stiffness, swelling, and that dreaded cracking sound with every step. Mr. Anselmo realized that strong bones weren't enough. To move without pain, he had to fight inflammation. That's where vitamin E came in, a powerful but often overlooked ally in joint health. Vitamin E helps reduce silent inflammation that eats away at cartilage over time. Most people only think of it for skin and hair, but taken consistently, it can reduce joint stiffness and help preserve the comfort of daily movement. Mr. Anselmo started adding foods like sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, and cold-pressed olive oil to his meals, in moderation, of course. He also took a small daily dose in capsule form, with his doctor's approval. One of his tricks? A teaspoon of cold-pressed sesame oil every morning. It oils you from the inside, he'd say, smiling. And truth be told, it worked. Along with gentle stretches and walking, this tiny ritual helped him say goodbye to morning stiffness. While others reached for painkillers, he stirred ginger and flax into his smoothies. Nature became his first line of defense. And it wasn't trial and error, it was thoughtful experimentation. He paid attention to how his body responded. That's one of the best longevity tips you'll ever hear. Observe yourself. Learn what works for you. What relieved someone else's pain may not relieve yours. But principles like reducing inflammation and adding vitamin E are universally helpful. He also reduced what made things worse: excess sugar, fried food, and processed snacks. No point taking vitamin E if you're eating poison, he'd joke. And he was right. Real well-being in old age is about consistency and common sense, not extremes. With less pain came more movement. With more movement came better sleep. With better sleep came better mood. It was a cycle of health. Mr. Anselmo used to say, "If my knees don't hurt, I can dance again." And he did, alone in his living room on Sunday mornings. But for joints to move freely, muscles need strength. And muscles need fuel. Not caffeine, not sugar, but a vitamin that powers every cell in your body. That's where his next discovery changed everything. It doesn't matter how strong your bones are if your muscles don't have the energy to move them. And in old age, chronic fatigue becomes a quiet enemy. That drained feeling, even after sleeping all night, often points to one thing: vitamin B12 deficiency. Mr. Anselmo discovered this when he began feeling more sluggish around age 70. He didn't ignore it. He investigated. And what he found changed everything. Vitamin B12 is crucial for energy, memory, and even mood. It helps make red blood cells and supports your nervous system. But here's the kicker. As you age, your body becomes worse at absorbing it, even if you eat eggs, dairy, or meat. That's why many older adults are deficient without even knowing it. Mr. Anselmo got tested, confirmed his levels were low, and began supplementing, carefully, under medical guidance. Within weeks, he felt the difference. He was walking faster, climbing steps again, no more yawning after breakfast. He added B12-rich foods like sardines, tuna, and the occasional hard-boiled egg, and took a sublingual B12 tablet that worked fast and didn't upset his stomach. "It's like putting the right fuel in your engine," he'd say. "You don't need a race car, just clean gas." But he didn't stop there. To boost the effects, he kept his muscles moving. A 30-minute walk every other day, lifting water bottles, dancing in the kitchen, it wasn't exercise. It was life. That combination of internal energy and external motion is what made the real magic happen. And here's the part many people miss. Low B12 doesn't just cause physical fatigue, it affects your mood. Mr. Anselmo noticed his optimism returning. Things felt lighter, brighter. It wasn't just the muscles waking up, it was the spirit, too. That's healthy aging in its purest form. He always said, "Tired all the time isn't normal. It's a signal." And he treated it like one. With care, not shame. That's the mindset we all need to adopt. Because sometimes what feels like aging is really just malnutrition in disguise. But the real surprise? How he combined these vitamins. Not randomly, but in a powerful, intentional morning ritual that no one around him had ever seen before. Sometimes, the most powerful changes come from the simplest routines. For Mr. Anselmo, there was one sacred habit, his morning vitamin trio. Long before breakfast, he drank warm water with lemon to wake up the body, as he put it. Then, he laid out 3 capsules side by side, one for bones, one for joints, one for energy. That was his invisible armor, protecting him from the wear and tear of time. First, vitamin D with K2, to send calcium to the right place, his bones, not his arteries. Second, vitamin E, to reduce joint inflammation. Third, vitamin B12, to fuel every muscle. He took them with a full glass of water, sitting peacefully, no rush. And what's beautiful is, he didn't just take vitamins. He understood them. He knew vitamins weren't magic bullets. They only worked if you gave your body what it really needed: real food, real rest, real movement. He ate fresh fruit, steamed vegetables, whole grains, and just enough olive oil to keep things smooth. His wisdom? Vitamins don't fix laziness, he'd say with a grin. He even organized his pills in a simple weekly box: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All lined up, ready to go. That small act of planning gave him consistency, which is more powerful than most people realize. It's not about perfection. It's about never missing the essentials. But the most powerful part of his ritual? The pause. He'd sit quietly, watch the morning sky, breathe deeply, and whisper, "Another day to live well." That moment of gratitude? That was the real medicine. Science now confirms what he knew by instinct. A grateful mind helps heal the body. And he didn't keep it to himself. He shared everything, with neighbors, friends, even his daughter, who was in her 60s. He taught them gently, showed them his bottles, even gave away extras. That kindness created a ripple effect in his community, because real wisdom multiplies when shared. It's almost funny how something so simple could be so effective. While others chased expensive treatments, he built his strength with knowledge, love, and a few capsules. And it worked. But it does raise a hard question. Why is something so helpful so rarely talked about? Why don't doctors tell more seniors about these vitamins? Why is there more information about pills for pain than tools for prevention? The truth is uncomfortable. But Mr. Anselmo saw it clearly. Most people just aren't told what they really need to know, and it's costing them their quality of life. The system is designed to treat disease, not to build wellness. Most seniors are handed medications, but never taught how to strengthen their bones, reduce inflammation, or restore energy naturally. And that silence creates suffering. People accept pain as normal, but it's not. There's also stigma. The idea that, after 70, it's too late. That pain, fatigue, and decline are just part of the deal. But they're not. Mr. Anselmo is proof. He didn't win the genetic lottery. He made smart, small decisions every day, and they added up to a life of freedom. Another problem? Prevention doesn't sell. There's more money in pills than in educating people about sunflower seeds, early walks, or B12. So these truths get buried. And the people who need them the most, older adults, are left in the dark. That's not just unfair. That's tragic. Mr. Anselmo used to say, "The body speaks. You just have to learn how to listen." He had time. He had curiosity. But what about those who don't? That's why sharing stories like his is essential. Because hope is contagious. And independence is worth fighting for. Think about it. How many falls could be prevented? How many aches could be eased? How many lives could be lived more fully if only people had this knowledge sooner? Aging with dignity is a right. And that starts with clear, respectful, accessible information. In a world full of noise, seniors are often forgotten. But not here. Here, we see you. We respect you. And we'll walk this path with you, one wise step at a time. So now that you've heard everything, what are you going to do with it? Will you keep living in pain, thinking that's just how it has to be? Or will you take a small step today, one new habit, one supplement, one gentle walk, toward a better version of you? This wasn't about magic. This was about truth. Your body might be aging, but it's still listening, still responding, still fighting for you. All it needs is your partnership, your care, your attention, and maybe now, finally, you're ready to give it. Tell me, which vitamin spoke to you the most? Which tip are you going to try first? Leave a comment below. Share your story. Let's learn together. Because when one senior gets stronger, the whole family gets stronger. And if this video helped you even a little, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. We're here every week with wisdom, stories, and real tools for living longer, living better, and living proud. Because you're not done yet. You're just getting started.